What's the most boring video game ever? Your first thought might be a simulator, like those farming simulators, truck driver simulators, playing Minecraft survival mode for more than 2 weeks. That's what I thought. But I think I found a way more boring game. And to be honest, a lot of people do like those kind of games. I mean, I see the appeal, especially if you don't have a driver's license and the thought of sending a job application keeps you up at night. I know the feeling. That's why I started a YouTube channel. No, there is another. Let me introduce you to
Desert Bus is the first in our line of what we like to call Vera simulators. Games stupefyingly like reality.
Like reality, it is. You hold down the drive button and then you drive for 8 hours. I once had to drive from LA to Las Vegas. It was pretty scary. Scarily boring. It kind of felt like this, except this is more boring. There is no music, there are no stops, occasionally a bug will hit the windshield, there is no one on the bus. Can't you just tape the drive button down? Nope. The bus will drift ever so slightly to the right. You have to click left on the D-pad, so you actually have to sit there like it's an actual real bus. Why does this take 8 hours? Cause in the game you drive from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's how long it takes in real life. Well, why is it so close to real life? Back to these guys. This is Penn and Teller, legendary magician / comedy duo. Well, actually it was Eddie Gortetsky's idea, but who cares? Penn and Teller, awesome. They released this game to be a
Vera simulator. Games stupefyingly like reality.
Why? It was supposed to be a satirical statement against the controversy surrounding video game violence in the mid-90s. This is around the same time the ESBR rating system was introduced, or maybe it was just sort of for the lulz. We'll get back to this later. According to the manual, you couldn't even pause the game. This was meant to be as realistic as possible. If you pressed the start button, which is usually also the pause button, all you would do was honk the horn. Great sound design, by the way. So, was there no reward for beating the game? Well, there was. 1 point. And a text that says, "We hope you enjoyed playing Desert Bus." Take a wild guess if I did, buddy. But there was also supposed to be a larger contest. Who could score the most points? And the maximum number of points is 99. What this means is, to get 99 points, you would have to drive for 792 hours. That's equivalent to 33 days of non-stop driving. What was the price for all of this? A real bus ride from Tucson to Las Vegas with a live band and showgirls, followed by more partying at the Rio once you got to Las Vegas. They sure made a big fuss out of this, huh? Well, they shouldn't have, because the game was never actually released. It was a game journalist who found an old copy, and now the game is available online. That's actually the only way people have been able to play it. I'll also return to this later. The game got close to release though. This did have a payoff. The game was promoted in Sega Visions magazine, set to be released in April 1995. It was planned for release on the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD, 3DO, and PC. Why was this masterpiece never released? Why had Desert Bus become lost media? Was this part of the joke? They went bankrupt. But why? Well, because the game was supposed to cost between 30 to 50 bucks. Hell nah, 50 bucks for Desert Bus? Now, one thing I haven't told you is, there were other minigames on here. In fact, Desert Bus was just one of them. These games were all weird, all pointless. Desert Bus, however, is simply the most absurd. It's the reason why Smoke and Mirrors, which is what the full game was called, is so notorious, and the rest of the minigames didn't make up for it. But Desert Bus made this game infamous, and nobody was gonna pay $50 for it. There was supposed to be more Vera simulators released, like Birdwatcher. Thank God that never saw the light of day. I mean, if you're in the mood, there are some games in the Vera simulator genre that are released, like, I don't know, NFL Head Coach and Football Manager 2013. How exciting. The whole game was made as a joke, a trick to play on friends, but also as a reply to the anti-video game rhetoric spewed by people like
Janet Reno,
specifically against the violence of video games. Penn and Teller basically said, "Let me show you a video game without action and violence." The game not being released because it was so boring proves their point. And remember how I said this game can be found online? The sketch comedy group Loading Rum Ready started live streaming them playing Desert Bus in 2007, raising money for a charity in the process. They've done this annually for over 15 years now, and they've been able to raise over $8 million for Child's Play, who donate toys and games to children's hospitals worldwide. You should check them out, there's a link in the description. The game has a pretty crazy legacy. I mean, there's also Desert Bus VR on Steam. You can download that if you hate yourself. This again reminds me of when I had to drive to Las Vegas from LA, going through Death Valley. Perhaps you remember I mentioned that in the beginning of this video. It was a golden desert, waves of dunes, a sea of sand for hours, only broken up by tiny eerie towns, thoughts of spiders and scorpions, mountains of nothing, peeing down the side of a mountain road, while staring into the abyss, seeing. So far I saw illusions, hunger, thirst, headaches, no music, no service, another car driving right behind you, praying he might try and murder you, cause at least that would be sort of interesting. And miraculously, this game still finds a way to be more boring. We may be divided on many things, but Desert Bus being the most boring video game of all time, that's impossible to disagree with. So what's the most boring actually released video game? Well, there isn't really an answer. That's up to you. However, I think there might be a most boring game which is released. Although it's not a video game. No pixels needed for this one. Just your eyes, ears, and enormous brain. Chess perhaps? No. I love chess, dude. I had this one teacher that forced me and all her other 4th graders to play it like every day, and I'm so grateful. I forgot how to play it a few years later, because I became a teenager, which means I started caring about what everybody thought of me. I mean, I did that before I was a teenager, but not as much as when I became a teenager. So I stopped playing. But then I started playing again at 16, and now I love it. How could you not? Have you seen that one video where that guy loses, gets really upset because he's like the goat or something, and then he still has to stay well-mannered, and he shakes the guy that just destroyed his hand? Absolute cinema.
Oh my god!
You might think it's Go. Hell no. I mean, it's not a game which I have played, but when all is said and done, it looks a lot of fun, though. So, what is the most boring game of all time? Well, it's Cards Against Humanity 90% of the time. This game is not that funny. I don't know if there's a version that has these cards. I might have just done it in like custom games online. But spamming profanity is pretty much the funniest thing you can do in the game. Doesn't matter what kind of people you're with, nothing else is funny. There is no point in trying to be clever. If you get some vulgar card, you're set. There is no point in playing like the standard version of this game. Everybody just goes, huh. It's so boring. This game has cost me lovely evenings, great friendships, and the cards themselves. I threw them in the trash so they could be burned at the incinerator. Anyway, I got more video essays on video games, you should go check those out. Also shout out Stuff We Play and Ramen. I found this game through that video. I also watched this other channel, but I can't pronounce the name. Episcope, EPI Scope. I'm kind of dumb, okay? Link in the description. Thank you for watching, thank you for your time. I'll go and play Desert Bus. No, I won't. I'll go play chess with a robot that always beats me. But that's okay, cause at least it makes me feel human. And as long as you feel human, you're alive. Alright, see you around.